This is the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to start our Thanksgiving dinner a day early to get a bunch of it done. We're going to have chicken and dressing, which is traditional for cowboy country. It's 8 o'clock in the morning the day before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to do a little prep work, get some things done beforehand, save having to do it all on Thanksgiving morning. We're going to have chicken and dressing, which is the typical Thanksgiving dinner for ranching country. Everybody thinks of turkey, but turkeys were plentiful in the day of the pilgrims on the East Coast, but you can't hardly find one today on the ranch. However, there were lots of chickens, so that's what we'll have. Ben Franklin wanted to use the turkey as the national bird, and I suppose if he had been successful, we'd now be having eagle and dressing for London for Thanksgiving. But at any rate, we didn't forget the turkeys. We sent several of them to the White House. So now I'm going to start in prepping the chicken for cooking. This chicken cost me $4 and a nickel at Walmart. The average turkey will cost you $12, $15 even with their discounted prices. I want to open it up over the sink because it'll leak a lot of liquid and you can just wash it right down the sink by doing it this way. Turn it over, and the first thing you want to do is reach in there and get the giblets out. And didn't know chickens had giblets, just like I didn't know that they had nuggets. But the only thing looks like in this one is maybe the liver and the gizzard, which I won't bother with. However, I will cut off what's referred to as the Pope's nose, the tail. He's empty on the inside. Wash it off and put it in a pot breast side down. Wash my hands here with soap because if you handle raw chicken, you don't want to transfer it to everything else in the house. Okay, here we go from here. Okay, put the pot on the stove here, and you need enough water to cover it. And you're also going to need about 4 cups of stock. I'll add a little bit more in a minute here. Need 4 cups of stock when you get ready to make the dressing. I'm going to make the cornbread and a season of water. I'm not going to show you how to make cornbread because I think most anybody can do that. I'm going to toss in some garlic, the end of an onion, which has the strongest flavor but the part that you normally throw away, a celery stick. I'll break this in 2. 2 or 3 bay leaves. And I'm lucky, here where we live, we have a rosemary bush growing on the property, so I cut a couple sprigs of rosemary. Bring the water up over the top of the chicken. That's a total of 6 cups, which will be plenty for making the dressing. Turn the burner on. If you use warm water in there, it takes less time for it to get to cooking. We're going to cook this about an hour after it starts actually boiling there. I'll be back with you then. Okay, it cooked for about an hour. I let it cool for about a half hour and took the chicken out here and the celery and onion top and things like that out of there. Now the next job is to bone the chicken and get rid of the bones and the skin. And there's only one way to do that, and that's by hand. But I'm going to save you that gruesome sight and turn the camera off. Okay, that job is done and I've washed my hands. What I've got left here is the bones, which go back in to cook a little longer, spruce up the broth. And here's the chicken, which I'll use tomorrow in the dressing. Okay, now this is Thanksgiving morning, and I'm going to do some more prep work here, getting things ready to go in the oven. The first thing to do is the dressing. And to start it off, I need a half a stick of butter. I'm going to use the pot that I cooked the chicken in, because it's the only thing I have that's big enough to make it. We'll let that melt. And in the meantime, I've already prepped the onions, celery, and green pepper to go in when the butter is melted in the pot. Okay, the butter's melted, so it's everybody into the pool. Onions, green pepper, celery. That's the holy trinity of dressing. Some Texans like to use jalapenos in place of the green pepper. I stick with the green pepper. What I'm going to do now is just let this hang out at kind of a low heat and sweat the onions and celery. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think time to start putting this bad boy together. Here's some of the bread I've been saving and already prepared for it. It's half cornbread and half dinner rolls that I cubed up. I like a little white bread in there. It gives a certain smoothness. As I said, I've been saving bread for the last week or two, and going to need to make this pot about half full or a little better for the size dish I'm making. And here's some cornbread muffins. There's no right or wrong in making this. It all works out in the end no matter what you do. I want to season it now. This is basil leaves. About a half a teaspoon of that, I'd say. And this is black pepper. Close to a teaspoon of that. And this is oregano, which is a close cousin to sage. But sage is the main ingredient in the way of seasoning. So I'm going to want about 2 to 3 teaspoons of that. I'll put in 2 now and taste and see how it's working out and adjust from there. Now, if you don't want to buy these individual ones, you can just get some poultry seasoning, which is the same basic mixture and the same seasonings. Tumble that in there. And get my stock over here, which has been warming. Pour in quite a lot of it. Takes a lot more stock than most people would think, and that's not near enough there. And at this point, well, that stock is a little hot to mix eggs with. Probably cook them. Need a couple beaten eggs. Well, I'll put a spoonful of stock in there just to help them mix. And fold that in. Still a little bit shy on bread. Well, I need some more stock. Now the good thing about it, I got a lot of stock when I cooked that chicken. This isn't all I've got by any means. I saved back some in case I had too much and I wanted to make chicken and dumplings or something like that. It's cold, but that won't make any real difference. This is getting to be about the right consistency. You want it so it kind of pours. It's still a little bit thick. If I ran out of stock here, I could open up a can or two of chicken broth. That's looking about right there. I want to taste at this point for salt and sage. I think it needs a little more of both, so I'll spike them up a little. Okay, this is a 9 by 13 pan. Spray it with whatever kind of lubricant I have there, or cooking oil, and we'll start putting this puppy together. Want to fill this about half full right now. Now a lot of people just go ahead and mix the chicken with this, but I like to put it in layers, and that way, no matter where you dip into it, you're assured of getting some chicken. And this is the chicken that I made and boned last night. And just start in making a layer. There's a big piece that's going to have to be torn up. Okay, you got it covered with chicken. Be sure to put plenty in each corner, because whoever takes the corner, if you don't have it out there, they get shorted on chicken. And just take the rest of this. Depending on me to make a mess. And spread it over the top. That's the thing about it, I've got a lot of cleanup to do once I've finished. Now I'll cover this with foil and set it aside. It's ready to go into the oven about an hour before time to serve.